Good morning, everybody. On behalf of the Deanship of Academic Development, we would like to welcome all of you. We're going to have the workshop on team-based learning with Professor Khalid Hooshani, and I would like to thank him for accepting our invitation, and he always does. And so, would you please, the floor is all yours, Khalid.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello, everybody. So today we will be talking about one teaching strategy that's been adopted in many places in the world, and it's called team-based learning. It's basically one form of collaborative learning, and there are lots of other ways collaborative learning can be conducted. And first impression that we have when we hear team-based learning, that any putting student in a small group together and do an activity, it's called team-based learning. Actually, it is one way of team-based learning. However, there is a well-structured method developed over the years, and it labeled itself by this official name, team-based learning. There's a team-based learning, problem-based learning, and process-oriented guided inquiry learning. And another thing, all of them depend on a small group. So what we will be highlighting here is some kind of a structure method that has its fundamental and the way should be applied in order to have the outcome needed or desired by whoever applying this method. So here, as you see here, the learning is not the something we instructor deliver to the student or speak to the student and student receiving the message. Actually, it is what happened in the other person. So when you teach somebody and you claim that you have taught somebody, the main thing you will see if the learning occur or not, how this person changed. Is the same person before and after? That's what happened. What is the purpose of what you deliver to him? So if there is a change on this human from state 1 to state 2, even if it's just a slight change, let's say you start your course on September and you will finish in December, over this 4 months, what happened to this person? How changed? What skill he gained? What more information, more insight about a subject, specific subject matter? So this is what actually is the learning. It's not the thing that instructor or faculty or teacher just saying or telling the student. So here, let's just define the purpose of this workshop. So this workshop is just try to show what this team-based learning is about, how this team-based learning applied in different settings, what the maybe some benefit of it, what's the best practice or best implementation. I hope to show you this in general, some feature of this, but I hope not to try to say this is the only method that you should use, and if you didn't use this method, that means you are not giving your teaching the time and the effort it deserves. No, it's just a method of teaching. Maybe it will fit in one setting, it will not be fitting in other setting. So just let's try to do this small warm-up activity, and we're just trying to look to our memory, how good our memory is. So I will show you, or I'll explain to you how you will conduct this activity. So basically, you will see a date, like 17 March. What you need to do without pencil, without saying loudly to yourself, you need just to convert this date to a number. Then the second process, you need to sort the number from the smallest to the largest. So when we say 17 March, there is 17, there is 1 and 7, and March is number 3. So when you want to arrange this number, it should be 1, 3, 7. So now what I need from you, I will give you for around 20 seconds for each date, and you need to convert it, as I said, without any pencil to write down. It's just a process in your mind. So let's start now, the second one. Okay, so now you have a number in your mind, or you arrange it. So due to the nature of this online, so anybody can just speak it up quickly. 2103. So, but we said you put the number from the lowest to the largest. It's good that you can just post it in the chat. Now, the second one.
You have 145,
145,
89.
89. Yeah. So not let's wait, Isha. When I ask you to put the number, you put it. Don't put it immediately in the chat. So you are turning off the other people who are already trying to process this. Next. Okay, go ahead. Put it. People processing it, see.
Yes.
1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. Why 2, 9? There is September and there is 19. So there will be 2, 9 you need to consider. Now, next one. Go ahead, put it. Okay, 111224889. There is no 0, I guess. Okay, so this is the number. Now, it's just a simple activity. I put it here just to try to let you reflect. When you do the process, in the beginning, it was a simple, easy. Even if I put the date maybe early. So in the beginning, our memory fresh, not processing too much, then start processing. Maybe the last one, if we are, I guess only maybe 15 to 20% to try. Even though they not able to get it right, but try. And almost 75%, they just sit and wait to see what will be the answer. And this is because of reason. So as you know, we have a working memory and a long-term memory. All the process is in the working memory. So this working memory has some limitation. So this exercise try to simulate what's going on when we go to our classroom. So we go fresh in the beginning, in the first 5-10 minutes, exciting. Students also, they just get in and very much involved. But with time, if you just scale up this exercise time, scale it up to 50 minutes. So toward the end, nobody interested to process, nobody interested to participate. So it's not because they don't want, but this is just the human nature. So what does the data say? say the following. So if we have a lecture which is around 60 minutes or 50 minutes, and in the y-axis showing the percentage of the student paying attention, so research usually shows this shape or this way of attention. So you see, like after 15 minutes, there is a drop drastically in the student attention. And that it's not because good instructor and not a good instructor. It's just, this is the data, this is the human. So with an excellent instructor, only around just people stay with the instructor continuously 15 minutes. And I would like to highlight an important point about this figure. That doesn't mean lecture is not good. Lecture will remain the best way to deliver information. But it means that you need to break down the lecture to a small part, and you need to do something in between. Something between this to just regain the attention of the student. So we'll move on. This is just, sorry for that. So if we go back and look to this graph and why this happening, as we said, like our memory or working memory has limitation in regard to capacity and in regard also to the energy. So when the memory starts processing, one problem, second problem, more information, it has a capacity, and also it has an energy level. So once, like after a few minutes, or like let's say around 15, 10 minutes, this memory get tired and stop. And now that's the point where you lose the attention of the student. So how we can just change the strategy of how we deliver and how we run our class to a better way that we are keeping the student all the period, and also we giving them a different perspective from just listening to the material we are delivering. So there's a method, it's called team-based learning, and here is the first book that published in this method, and been developed by Larry Mickelson. And this guy has a nice story, actually. So he was like just a business, he is in Oklahoma State University Business School, and he used to teach same as other people, a class around 30 to 35. So then he, one day he just said and think he want to change the approach. He give his material to the student. Then he started developing this team-based learning approach, and class start. By the end of the class, students feel different from what he's delivering now from other courses they are already attending and taking. He surprisingly, when the next semester people start registering, he used to have 25 to 30 students. He find out that more than 100 students register his class. Why? So, students talking to each other and talking about this approach and exciting about it. And so students start coming to his class. Then he just went back to his office and started thinking and reflecting. And he was okay to manage like 30 students. But now when he's in running a method where he need to do a small group work with 100 students, it will be a huge difference. So after thinking many times about it, so he said, maybe I'll just go back to the regular because maybe it's more physical. Then after that, no, he decided, no, I will do it. I will give it a try for those 100 students, and let's see. He did. And he has this confidence and decision that he will never go back for lecturing again. Then after developing this course many times, he started developing the method and put it in a systematic way. So he gave his first book, which is the team-based learning, which he lay out the fundamental and the implementation of this method. So once this book published, people start applying it, and then there is lots of implementation problem, and people start contacting him. You said this, but when I apply it, I find something. Then he put another book where all these implementation problem, he addressed all these implementation problem and also published the book. I thought I have the picture of the book, but maybe toward the end. So basically, this is the story of this team-based learning structure, teaching method developed and behind this approach. So I did try it in few semesters in my class at KFUPM. As you know, when you try something, you just do it slowly, then you learn how to do it, then you become confident, then so on, something like this. And there is lots of limitation, and you go back, you try to adapt and fine-tune things. So let's just try to see the difference between our regular teaching way, which is we go to the class and we give lecture, and the team-based. Are they same or different? So if we look closely to our traditional way of giving class, we are lecture. So basically almost 95% of the time that we spend in the class, we are giving information and deliver information to the student, convey the information from the instructor to the student. And just sometimes we give a project, exercise, we ask students to do something, and so on. So basically, this is the way how we convey our course material to the student in regular lecture format. In team-based learning, there is a huge difference here. So there are some part is called testing and reading. There is another part is called in-class activity. So in-class activity, it's include like a problem designed very well to fit or to have or plan to work within a small group of students. So what is this readiness assurance process, which involves two B's? The first one is testing, and the second one is reading. So let's move on and see. I'm not going to show this video. I'm going to go and see what's the readiness assurance process. When we say we need to have, we need to make sure that the student come to the class and having the related concept or needed concept to be able to do this in-class activity. So this readiness assurance process, it includes what we call reading assurance process or RAP. And this RAP contains and also this is the main piece of the team-based learning. The second one, which is more weight and more time and bigger weight, which is in-class team activity. So in the readiness or reading assurance process, it has a reading part or pre-class preparation. So it's require a pre-class preparation. Also, the second one, individual test, include individual test. And the third one include team test. Then after that, after the team test, also include, or it has a flexibility for a specific team to write an appeal, and we will talk about what this appeal means. And it include also feedback or mini lecture. So basically, this diagram you see in front of you is the main component of team-based learning. It's not just a simple putting a student together and saying I'm doing or I'm applying a team-based learning. Yes, you're applying a form of collaborative learning, but it's not a structure as a team-based learning. So let's go and try to give a highlight to each piece of this readiness assurance process or in-class activity. So in-class activity, it is an application oriented to a specific problem or to address a specific real life or significant problem related to what? To the course concept. So basically, instead of having a small exercise, we're putting them in such a problem that need to be solved. So readiness assurance process, the first one we said reading or pre-class preparation. The second one is individual test. The third one is called team test. The fourth one is appeal. And the fifth one is the mini lecture or feedback. So let's go to the first one, which is the reading activity. So Sanaullah send you a file. Is right, Sana? You received the file from Sanaullah?
Yes, I will add the link also in the chat. Just give me a minute, but they should.
Yes, we received it, yes.
Okay, Shabab. So there is in the email, there is a TBL handout. TBL handout. Did you find it? So if yes, put in the chat, yes. So please now, so the activity now, what will require from you, sorry, to go and read, okay? So let's assume this is the material you received before and you need to read about it. So read Introduction to Team-Based Learning document. So let's say 5 minutes to finish. Just try to scan it.
Doctor, I have a question.
Go ahead.
What's the difference between team-based learning and group learning?
All are same, okay? All the same. So it's you can say group work, it's all a collaborative learning, but some of them has a structure. If you follow this structure, then this is the official way of team-based learning. If you do it in other way, it is a collaborative learning, but it has different functions. Sometimes some group work like activity is just not every time. So by the end of this workshop, you will see this one something unique or has its own structure. Do we need to stick to this structure? It's based on, depend on you. So if you see this the way you think it will be good or not, it's dependent on the structure, how he will see it. But this one has its own fundamental and research and people searching. It's very popular in medical school. Finished يا شباب? Done?
Yes, the 5 minutes is over, yes.
Time is over, huh? Okay. So let me. Share. Okay, now, so now you came to the class. You came to the class next day. Let's assume this reading material for a specific unit or chapter. So once you came to the class, in the first 10-15 minutes, when we start the unit or the chapter, so you sit in the class and I ask you to take a test, okay? It's called readiness assurance test. So the test as follows. So I will put these, so it's a closed book. You cannot look to your handout. Just try to answer now this question. I will give you around like say 30 seconds for each question. So question 1 time is up. We'll move on to the next question. Question 2 is done. Now, question 4. Question 5. Question 6.
Sorry, where do we put the answers?
Yeah, just in piece of paper. It's just a practice. This. Just you have question 6. You put A, B, C.
Okay. Thanks.
I'm just trying to simulate the process in real life. So question 7. Question 8. And 9, just together. And the last question. And okay. So basically what you did is I'll stop sharing this one, then I will share my presentation. So did you see one slide or 2 slides?
Only one ya Khalid. One slide.
Okay, good. So now, that's now when you assign a material or some material, either like reading material or some video to watch, then you ask the student to come preparing for this to the class. When they sit in the class, you give them this kind of multiple choice question. Then, so it's just, so you take this usually when I apply this or this team-based learning approach. So they just use a bubble answer sheet. So the student bubble their answer, instructor collecting these answer, then they move to the next step. So is it clear, Shabab, now what is the first step? The first step, you assign material, then student come and take a test, individual test. So following this individual test, after you collect these answer sheet, the student keep with them the question sheet. Then you ask them to move on to the next step, which we call, this is the individual test. Then you ask them to go and do the team test. What do we mean by team test? Team test actually use just for a student to retake the same test again, but in a group. And instead of taking it individually, they take these tests in a group. So how you will manage this group? There is a special form, is called immediate feedback assessment technique. Let me show you some of these. It's like this form. There is a question and there is 4 choices, same as you see in the screen. So these is called scratch, win and scratch and win. So same number of answer, like when you have A, B, C, D or A, B, C, D, E in the multiple choice question, you ask student again to retake this. But this is a special form where very exciting and give lots of energy in the classroom. So let's take an example of this, how this will work. So if we look to this first example, what is the capital of Saudi Arabia? So basically you go, so students discuss between them the question and they decide, let's say D. So did you see the mouse on the 4?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so you go and scratch D, for example. If you scratch D, that means you get a star. If you get a star, that means this is the right answer. If you scratch and you didn't find the star, that means you didn't choose the right answer. So now once they get a star, that means they score 4 out of 4 on this question. Then you move on to the next question. So like a Twitter, this is maybe, or yeah, like a Twitter, it has 170, 140, 150. Then student try. Let's put, for example, C. So it's not true. So I choose C, but I didn't find the star. So students need to rediscuss again and decide another answer. So this is for old policy. For Twitter, it's 140 and they get the star. So now look to the grade they get, only 2 points out of 4. So if they find the star in the second try, they will get 2. If they find it the first time, they will score 4. So next question, the ozone layer restricted what? Let's say A, so A, and we got how much? 4 out of 4. So next example, like OS, computer abbreviation usually mean open software, maybe open software. Sorry. Order of significance, it's wrong. Optical sensor is wrong. Operating system, maybe, it's right. But what the score they got? Only 1, because they already find this answer in the 3rd try. So basically what this form is about. So students sit together and try to discuss the question. If they are not able to find the answer, they have a 2nd try, a 3rd try. So that means no student will have a chance to miss the right answer or the right concept or how they will get, because this team test usually it's longer than the individual test. It's involved discussion, argument, everybody try to explain one aspect of the other. So students learn a lot from this process. And also in the classroom, in the physical classroom, it gives lots of energy in the classroom. So you know, when you build this team over time, there is a loyalty between these teams, and they start to have feeling for win against other team. So in the end of the semester, maybe this form you can add up the grade, and there is different way to reward the winning team.
Khalid, there is a question. If there is an electronic.
Okay, let's go. Okay. Yes, the question, Dr. Sayyid, go ahead.
The question is, there is an electronic version of this form?
I think there is, but some when I do search for it, it comes with special learning management system. But I think for somebody able to develop it, I don't search in the app, different app application for iPhone or Android, but I try to find a way in web-based this. There is some, but it needs subscription and it needs this. I'm not able up to today to find something like with reasonable price. But if somebody else aware of anything, there is something called e-scratch card or virtual scratch card. If anybody aware of any form of this, he will come to put his comment or suggestion. Or if anybody after. Yes.
The question is from Dr. Nabil Maali, and I think we request him to look at this and then inform.
So that means nobody will ask question.
No. And I'm sure Nabil will do that, inshallah.
So Dr. Muhammad Al-Shaib here. Dr. Muhammad Al-Shaib. Yeah. So maybe somebody like from computer science, or I don't see it. It's a very tough programming. People in gamification usually program this kind of activity, but I'm not aware of a form. But it will be very nice to have an app for it, so it will be easy and can be applied online. So there is a form, there is a way or digital form, but it comes with learning management system is called Leo, and it's same as Blackboard. You need to subscribe, and the subscription is by head, not like you just take you subscribe by yourself and you can apply it. Okay, so it's a great form. I try this form several years. Is either I use team-based learning or I use it for regular quiz and recitation, because one of the main advantage of this form is called, if you look at it, IFAT, Immediate Feedback Assessment Technique. Immediate Feedback Assessment Technique. So no student leaves the class without knowing why the correct answer is correct and why the wrong answer is wrong. And there is a lot of discussion, and students learn a lot from this experience. So you will rarely find somebody ask you, I need to know my quiz grade, because it's a 5 question or 6 question. So they already solved it. He knows what he got right and what he got wrong. And you don't need to go and solve this. Everything is based on discussion between the student and learning from each other and building this relationship with each other. Okay, so this is the team test. Like in the physical format, usually after you do the individual test, I ask you to go and do the team test. So now in this readiness assurance activity, we talk about reading or pre-class preparation. The second one is individual test. The third one is team test. So somebody may ask why individual test? Why wouldn't go ahead and have the team test? Because it's more useful, more insight for the student to learn from each other. So I'm a teaching course, okay? I need to give a grade in the end of the day. So I need to have an individual accountability. So these individual tests will reward those who prepare, and those who not prepare will not have this reward. So it's a very important to have an individual test in the beginning. Then after that, you give in a team test, also a chance for student to catch up. So even though some students not prepare very well, and this individual test or individual quiz, it has a weight in the class distribution grade. So it must have a weight because students need to read and prepare and come prepared. It's like a regular quiz. It has maybe 10%, 5%, 15%. It's based on the class and the nature of the course. So this individual. Then the team test, that's where maybe you need to put a weight, or just whatever comes, the benefit comes from this test is for everybody, and just to learn their mistake from individual test or misconception, or maybe sometimes it's a multiple choice. Maybe one student, he just got it right, but in reality, he doesn't know how this answer or why this answer is correct and why the other answer is not correct. Okay, maybe one time or in some situation, you will have a team or an individual comes to you after the team test and try to argue with you. So we believe they said this, maybe one individual to come and say, you know, this question number 5, I think the answer is A, not B, and start this way of arguing. So as instructor, to make sure whatever comes from the student is not just a perception of the student. So you can set a tone that whatever complaint or whatever objection, it should come from the team, not from individual. Team should convince this is the question, it has a problem, okay? So that's why we put now a chance for what we call an appeal. So, and this appeal should be a written appeal. Should not be just a verbal complaint in the end of the class. It's just because somebody got upset that he didn't get one question right, or he got all it's wrong, or something like that. So we open a door for them to put a written appeal. So this appeal, it has a specific process, okay? So maybe there will be an ambiguity in reading. So the material you ask a student to read, or the video you ask a student to watch, it's not clear, okay? Or this question will not lead, or it will not be directly from this reading assignment. Or, so maybe they need in this written appeal first to declare ambiguity in reading. Or second, they need to describe the reason of disagreement between the question they are taking and the material that they asked to read or to watch. And also the third one, so they need to provide supporting page or reference. They need to provide support page or reference or a code to support their appeal. So you see, there is an appeal, but it's a very well structured appeal. So a student need to do work to able to convince the instructor, yes, there is a problem in question 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, okay? And maybe the ambiguity, it's not comes from the question itself. Maybe it will be from the question. The ambiguity may be in the question. So we wrote a question. It's a multiple choice question. Maybe we have some language problem, using a word not very much related or some. So basically they need to declare exactly where is the ambiguity in this question. The second one, they need to describe the source of ambiguity. Where's exactly? Don't tell me there is a problem in question 4. So exactly, tell me in question 4, what exactly, yani, that thing's not clear to you. Or you can ask them, or they should put in their appeal alternative wording of this question. So you told me this is the question has a problem either in word arrangement or other than that. Okay, now rewrite the question. Now, as an instructor now, you have a document, well structured, with a proof, with good reading, with good research, trying to convince you that there is a problem in one question. Now it comes to you, okay? It's up to you. What I do myself, so just I'll share you what I do. If I see there is a great work in this appeal and there is an effort, it's just a one question, maybe it's worth maybe 1 point or 2 points. I will reward this effort from the student because the ultimate goal for them is to learn something. And this appeal actually enhance this knowledge or enhance this skill the student they have, and maybe they have point. Or if they don't have a point, yani, it's depend, and maybe in whole semester, maybe you will find one case or none. Because whenever you ask a student to go and do something yani, more structured, they are not willing to do. But if you open the question, go ahead. Nabil, from Nabil.
When the appeal should be, no, there is a question.
Yes.
Yeah, again from Nabil, when the appeal should be prepared outside the class or during the class? During the class is simply.
No, it should. Good. So appeal should. I mean, the complaint will be raised during the class, right immediately after the team test, because when students discuss and they try to convince them if they got if all of them got it wrong, they said, okay, maybe there's a problem and this, they will talk to the instructor. The instructors, they said, okay, just write an appeal. This appeal should be written outside the class and should be submitted next class. It is next. They cannot do it because after this team test, there is another activity in the class. There is no time for a special case in the class. So usually you have 6, 7, 8, 10 team in the class. So if one team has a problem, okay, we will yani, honor this yani, request, but you need to put something in a more systematic way. Clear, Shabab? Okay. Now we give an individual test, then we give a team test, then also we give a chance to write an appeal. And we explain the appeal process, how this appeal should be conducted. So by this time, now student already read the material, and the second, he take an individual test, also reinforce the concept through the discussion in the team test. Usually this question in the individual test and team test, usually this question is a very well crafted toward the main concept in this chapter or in this unit. So you are targeting to, or you want to make sure each individual student know about this concept, the main concept in this chapter. So following this, you move on to another step, which is the in-class activity. So I'll show you some statistic here. Just let me give you 1 second here.
Khalid, in 2-3 minutes, they will be ready for the breaks. So if you want to break at a specific point.
Okay, just give me one time.
Yeah.
1 minute. Okay, I think now it's a good time for a break then. So let's have a break now for 10 or 15 minutes.
No, 10 minutes, ya Khalid.
You are the boss, okay? 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Yeah. Thank you. يعني كمان اديهم خلينا نشوف 1 or 2 minutes يا خالد.
اوكي. Okay, thank you. No, خلاص, I will look at it.
انت في المكتب يا خالد ها؟
ايه في المكتب.
طيب وانا اقول والاحتمال عندك تمر في المكتب نو بروبلم.
موجود يا ابو
نجي نزورك. Now we can
تمر
start.
موجود.
طيب we can start.
Okay. السلام عليكم everybody.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
طيب. Now the question now, inshallah, in September we are going online. The question now would be this is feasible for online or not? The approach we do so far. I'm just trying to let you think about it. So this is what we usually do face to face. Students come, we give them a quiz, then we give them a team quiz. Now, will be this applicable online or not? Dr. Muhammad, go ahead, Dr. Muhammad Shahrani.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, حياك الله.
Do you want me to elaborate? You mean what is my idea?
Sure.
Well,
Your idea.
I can think of Zoom, for example. This is just the first idea I have in mind. Zoom, yes. It has this capability of breakout rooms, and I believe also, and then you can split them into groups and work with them this way.
Jazakallah khair. So basically, the individual quiz, we have no problem with it because once the class. So as you know, here in KFUPM, we do synchronize online. Am I right, Dr. Saeed? This is the policy, synchronize. It's not asynchronized. Yeah. So we do exactly. We meet all the students in the same time. It's not something you put the material and you ask them to do some task anytime. No, we have a sync approach. So when we do this synchronized approach, so when the class starts, immediately you can ask the student to do this online quiz, where they go to the blackboard or to do it through different platform, whatever. Then there is a specific time they can do this individual quiz. After that, as Dr. Muhammad mentioned, in Zoom, there is a breakdown room session. So you can have them in a break, you divide them, and I will talk about the mechanism of forming the team in the end of this workshop. So then they will go in this individual room and they discuss the quiz again as a team. And if, based on what I see, what I read, what I search for this digital scratch form, that one of the team, he can take the responsibility after discussion. They decide, like, let's choose A, for example. He go and put A. And everything is sync. Like this answer is for team number 5. Team number 5 has Muhammad, Ahmed, and so on. So it is all like everything is put together. Then you got immediately electronically the individual test respond, and also you have the team response. So it is 100% applicable to online application. And actually people already use in a online format. One of the resources I share with you just now, in the beginning of this workshop, one complete document about TBL from offline to online. Okay, this is regarding the online. Now let's discuss about how we introduce this pre-reading test. What do you think the best approach? So in KFUPM here, we have like very well structured assigned textbook. So you can give each student should have the textbook. So you can assign exactly the reading material from the textbook, and not you just try to avoid to say, we will do chapter 6, that's it. Nobody will read. If you don't have a detailed description, what exactly you want students to know from chapter 6. So I need you to know, for example, concept A, concept B, concept C, spell it out. And it's more preferable to say concept A that in page number 65, second paragraph, third paragraph. Just be specific. So students immediately follow or do the checklist of what you ask them to do. They make sure to do it. And also they know what you are looking for. So chapter like 5, let's assume it's 50 pages, 40 pages, 20 pages. No student will go and try to know everything. You should highlight, you should inform them, you should tell them what you are looking exactly from this chapter 5. Remember, it's not after you explain the concept, it is before explaining the concept. So you need to be very clear and very detailed. So team-based learning in regard to preparation need lots of preparation from the instructor. But if it's applied in the right way, it has an excellent outcome. Dr. Said, is there anything in the chat before we break? We have a question regarding this, what we see in the screen, which is APDP. How frequent instructor see APDP? If nobody apply TBL at all, from all people attending now, and for this process and for our students, if we ask them how you think or how many appeal somebody will receive during semester, I'm sure maybe around like 95% of us will say none. And it's true. It's it's need work, and students usually after they have the quiz, they don't even want to do more work for this course, that they want to go to another, so many things. But for me, maybe in 10 years, I just receive one time. I don't apply this every semester. To be clear, the semester I apply this way, I receive it maybe one time. And most of the instructors, they apply it worldwide. They mention the same thing. A build process is a very well structured. A build process need work. A build process need effort from the team. So usually students, they are not willing to put this effort. And Dr. Muhammad, Maher Noor, when somebody asks, can we simulate this scratch form into an app or a web-based form? We receive an yes, but we would like him to elaborate on this if he's around, please.
Who is Maher Muhammad Noor?
Ismail, huh?
No, Maher Muhammad Noor.
Maher Noor?
Maher Muhammad Noor. Maher Muhammad Noor. I'm
saying Maher Noor, it's fine.
Okay, yes. Okay.
Yes. Maher Noor. Family name is Noor.
حياك الله. كلك نور يا دكتور ماهر.
Thank you من ذوقك كله.
طيب, there is a way to have it like something in virtual form, so you can we can help KFUPM faculty during this pandemic?
أنا ما أدري إذا الأخ دكتور ماهر وزير. Dr. Maher, you answered yes في chat, but we did not know the answer yes. Is it to Zakaria question regarding if the form can be simulated, or you answer yes to something else?
Dr. Said, I posted in the chat a link.
I answered another question for I got the material for the previous
Okay.
Okay. Okay, great.
Okay, we get just
And,
confused.
yes, Nabil, yes, everybody now got your the link you posted,
So,
and you're saying that they
did
say
you
it
read
is
it?
free.
Did you go and look, read what is there, Nabil?
Yes, they say if you are interested in using the test maker, please contact us. So I already sent them an email.
Is it from IFAT website?
No, it's Epstein. I don't know.
Yeah. This is the same company that providing this form. And what you are talking about is Nabil,
yes.
is instead of because each form, if you look here in this form,
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, in this form there is a code in the bottom. So in the each form have a code where in form instructor that where is the answer, where is the star in question 1, question 2, question 3. So when you do your quiz, you put the right answer based on the star. What they are mentioning in this software you mentioned, that it's called a test maker. So you put the form name, and they will generate the right answer, and you don't do it manually. It will be done through the software. They are not talking about a virtual copy of this.
Okay.
So it's just how to make, so same as other software, you want to make a multiple choice question for shuffling, for different version, for this. It's exactly the same. I tried before.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So I don't think this company will make something in digital format, because that's how they make money. Actually, this form is already patent, and they sell this form. So maybe it will not be a smart way to develop a digital form, because they want to sell the form.
Yeah, I expect in these days where there is a pandemic, they might develop a software where you have to pay a license fee so that you can use electronic form, because everybody now is almost everybody is teaching online, so they cannot use physical cards. They have to use electronic cards.
Yeah, it's right, Nabil. Keep in mind, this card is well known to those people who are interested in a special teaching method, and it's not very much common, and this is one. The second one, I'm just wondering, those who develop apps day and night, every day we see a new apps, why they do not develop app like for this one? In concept, it is not very hard. It's very simple, concept, this Scratch. And there is lots of, if you search in Google, Scratch, how to make a Scratch card and stuff, and this is for, I think, some marketing or lottery or some other application, but for exactly as this one, I haven't seen yet. I wish if anybody finds something to share with me.
Would be a nice project for our computer science colleagues. If they have a student or a team working on developing a software for IFAT cards, electronic ones, this would be really helpful.
Yeah, it's not in this time with digital foundation and MX program and concentration. They need now to breathe at least.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's move, yes.
Okay. So let's move on now. So let's talk about some statistic here. So some people, now we have a team work, okay? And usually we have a best student in the class. So statistic in the past 20 years, what I mean past 20 years, from 1996 until 2016. So statistics shows that over 99.9% of the team had overperformed the best member by an average of 14%. So it will not, even the weak team in the class, they will be better than the best student on the team. So more brain is better than one brain. So this statistic is being generated from individual test and team test. So when the students sit together and work together in a team, so usually getting the right answer most likely more than individual one. So this is one of the setting I used to have in a fixed seat format in a course where it have around more than 65 students. So you can put them. It's not the best scenario, but that's the best you can do in this form. Okay. They said, from Michelson in 1989, he said, in fact, the worst team typically outperformed the best student in the class. So after the writing appeal, we have what we call a feedback or mini lecture. So remember, ya shabab, all this happened inside the class, okay? This, the individual test, team test, right, written appeal is outside, but now we're going back to a feedback or mini lecture. What this feedback or mini lecture, basically, you are going around and you know what the question that maybe student have a problem with. And this question, of course, based on a specific concept that assigned to the student to read or to watch if it's a video. So instead of going into all these concepts, you are now going and highlighting and explaining and put more, or you shed more light on these concepts seem to have more or little difficulty for a student to absorb. How you know it's difficult for a student? Because they are not performing well in the individual or in the team test. So you explain it. If there is time, you can do it in the same lecture. Like if you, let's assume the individual test has like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Usually I give 20 minutes for almost 5 questions, 4 minutes each question. Then I collect it. Then I ask them to do the team test within 15 minutes. In the end of the day, I end up with 10 minutes before the class is over. So you can highlight it in this one. And if there is no time in the beginning of the new class, you can start highlighting these hard or difficult concepts. Now, if we go and try to look into the targeted concept through team-based learning cycle. So we have a pre-class preparation, which is reading or watching a video. We have individual test, we have team test, we have appeal, or we have a written evidence-based appeal to the instructor, or then we have the feedback. In the pre-class or the reading material, we usually target simple and complicated concept. In the individual test, same. Simple and complicated. Team test, again, also we targeted simple and complicated concept. Usually in the appeal form, in the complicated context. Again, in the appeal, again in the written one, it's in the complicated, and the mini lecture will be focused only on complicated concept. This now will eliminate lots of panic from us as a faculty that I have lots of material. I will never cover the material if I'm using such approach like this one or other approach. So you are saving the valuable time on the class only to address hard stuff. And these simple thing, you rely on student previous work or outside the class. And you need to have some quality measure to reward those who prepare and work and not award those who are not participating. Again, in this team test, again, a student, even if he is not well prepared, he will get a chance to review and evaluate these concepts. And also in the mini lecture, he will have a chance to look into a complicated concept. I'm relying on you, Dr. Sayed, if there is anything on the chat question, or you can stop me anytime.
Yeah, okay, no problem.
Okay, so now we finish the first piece of team-based learning, which we call readiness assurance piece, which is, or RAP, which is involved the pre-class, individual test, team test, appeal, and mini lecture. The second piece of team-based learning is what we call in-class team activity. On-class team activity. So in-class team activity, actually, it has a special format. So this is the step. Then we move on to the practical exercise. So, so the nature of this exercise actually require supplementing material in a sequence way. So I didn't choose to put it in a breakdown room to do this exercise, but I will highlight a few things about this activity. So basically, this activity, it should have, should be well-designed activity. It's not a simple thing a student can do it in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. It's a problem that lots of discussion and lots of fundamental that students, they should know and work it out. And these practical exercise should be done within the class. Let's talk about how we apply this one. Let's assume a 3-credit course. Here we have it in KFUPM. Usually a specific unit or a specific part, it's been maybe designed to be completed in 2 weeks in lecture format. So now you can switch this way from this 2 weeks for this lecture format to have the first class for this preparation, like individual test and team test, and next class maybe for mini lecture, small mini lecture, 10, 15 minutes or 20 minutes. Then after that, you start giving the student the problem they need to work on. And this will be conducted in the remaining number of class time, which is around like 4 period, class period. So when they come immediately, they just do their team activity to sorting, to solving. Of course, it will not be one problem. Maybe there will be a sequence of a problem. All of them is just leading to make students how they use this fundamental and concept in solving a problem. So designing in-class application activity, or what we call the 4S criteria. So what are these 4S criteria? So to choose a problem, it has to be same problem for all teams. Let's assume you have 30 students and you define your team 5 each. So you will have 16 in the class. Those 16 should have or should work in same problem. You should not give team 1 problem number 1 and team 2 another problem and team 3 another problem and team 4 another, and so on. No. In the same time, each team will work in same problem. The second criteria, it needs to be significance problem. So what we mean by significant problem, it should have some application in real life. It has some a way of aware, people aware of something. So you don't want to choose something not relative either to life or to the student, or even a very conceptual thing. It can be converted into something has some relative or some health issue, contamination, water, people, related to the people, flight design, people maybe that this design can fail and there will be a damage in lives. When you design a building, that means there is a consequence. This building should have a reliability to withstand years and decades. It's something you need to switch your problem to make it more significant. The third, there must be, when you conduct your activity, there should be some process of simultaneous reporting. What do you mean by simultaneous reporting? You give in a time for a student to work in a problem, okay? So let's assume this problem needs 30 minutes to be completed. So by 30 minutes, after that, there is a solution for this problem, okay? So when you need to listen to different team answer, the answer should be simultaneous, and people need to see what other people is answering. You don't give a chance for somebody to answer in sequence. It has to be in the same time. And also, the fourth criteria, this problem should have a specific choice and answer. Only one answer for this problem. So that's why this way you will create a discussion between team. So when there is only one answer for this, that means each team will try to convince the other team their choice will be the right answer. And this discussion within the class will create a very rich learning experience and looking to different direction and different angles. How simultaneous reporting look like? You can print a card. For example, if you formulate a question by the end of this problem, like the answer will be 1 out of 5 choices or 4 choices, you can print a card like A, B, C, D, and each team has this set of cards. Once you ask a student to answer, they just immediately raise their card like this. So each individual and each team will switch their head around the class and try to see what other team, what they choose. If it's same, if it's not same, that means they will come back to their team and discuss why those team they choose this, why maybe they are right, maybe we right. Then after that, a dialogue is being initiated and created within the class. So you give a chance to each team to try to prove their point of view, argue with other one, and so on, until a consensus of a specific answer is reached. There is another way of simultaneous reporting. If you try this student response system, like Socrative or Ball Everywhere, so you can assign each team to put their input, and in the screen, each team will show which team chose which answer. So the simple one is the card one. So this card, it can be just put together and given to the team, and at the end of the class, they just go and give it to the instructor in a small bag. Every class you bring it, and everybody knows what he needs to do. Okay, now, so this application activity, if we look to the dynamic that occur in the class, so we have in the beginning, readiness assurance or reading assignment. We have also, you can give individual homework. So these are 2 pieces of preparation for students to come and prepare for the concept. Then we will have all this RAB process, individual, team, appeal, and mini lecture. Then start on class problem. Sorry. From this in-class problem, now you go to intra-team discussion, try to reach to the correct or the right choice for this problem. Then after that, you ask a team for reporting their finding by raising card, by putting their answer in the student response system. Then, as I said, after that, this will create a dialogue. Then there will be an inter-team discussion between other things. Then it will go back and you apply another problem and so on. There is an excellent dynamic phenomena going on into the class when we apply this kind of activity. So now I will just have post a question, and unfortunately we don't see each other here, but you can put it in the chat. So you put so let's assume we are in the team and we ask which of these 4S for selecting a problem is dispensable or we can delete it. You remember what these 4S? Significant problem, same problem, specific choice, simultaneous reporting. So these are the 4. So I can do this Socrative, and I ask you to put your input, then I need to go and share and put the answer to let you know that, but it is a 2-hour workshop. I don't think we will be able to do everything. And yesterday we do too many activity, and unfortunately we not finish with almost half of the material. But now I'm just trying to give you a taste, a sense of what this method is about. And there is lots of resources available. I will show it to you. You will have a big, clear picture of how this thing. So
you can start a survey, Dr. Khalid. There is a survey, and you just put A, B, C, D, and
okay, go ahead, Sanallah, put it, please. Just A, B, C, D. You don't need to put even the choices because it's already in the screen. So which one of these 4 is we can delete it and activity still will be good? Thank you, Dr. Nabil.
You're welcome.
Yalla, Sanallah.
Yeah, he has to prepare it, yeah, Khalid. Just give him he has to prepare a bull.
See, Nabil just want to be more creative, mashallah.
Yes, please.
I'll let you tell you some story while Sanallah putting this.
Sorry, Doctor, I was on. Sorry, Doctor. Did you ask? Something? Did you ask something?
He wants you to put this on
ball. Just A, B, C, D. Don't put
A, B, C, D.
Just put A, B, C, D only, ball.
Just give me 1 minute or less than a minute.
Okay, I will give you 1 minute. Okay, let me tell you this story. So some of us, maybe the first time he attend kind of this team-based learning, maybe he will look to this issue and say, wow, this is too much. I don't think I can make it. But believe me, it's just with the training, trying it little by little. And with time, you will get familiar and you will get comfortable. I'll just tell you my personal experience. Yesterday was my first time in having a workshop in Zoom, online workshop. Yeah, you don't know how I feel yesterday. It's just, I don't know what I did. Something. Today, I feel more comfortable. It's the second time. I believe next time will be much better. Next time will be, and this is the learning curve. When you do something, so now the ball, Nabil mentioned this to me. That means next time I will be preparing better. So whatever it's a new approach, don't try to block this opportunity because it needs some experience. Just get into the adventure. In the first time, maybe you will do below average. Next time you will do much better, and so on. Go ahead. So now, please vote for this one. But this is not an individual. When you do it in the face-to-face workshop, it's not individual response. It's a team response. So the team discuss among them and debate which one is not important. Then, in the end of the day, they just put one selection for team. It's not an individual answer. But today now, just for the format. Now, okay. So we have, Sanallah, you see the poll or you didn't see it?
Yes, I can see the poll. It's about 37% of people have responded.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's only 37. And the attendee, how many?
We have about 68. I mean, we have 66 participants, but 27, less than half have responded. So we'll just give another 10-15 seconds to respond.
No, I don't think it's a matter of time needed, because it doesn't need any time. But this will give you an indication of the people following you during online or not. This will be exactly, Shabab, as when you deliver a class online. So put yourself in this situation, okay? So somebody maybe just turn it on and leave it, okay? So you need to be careful when you conduct your class online. So when you conduct class online, you need to put kind of this activity every 5-10 minutes, so you will know which student or who is with you or who is not. So this is the, okay. This is the, you see, share the result. So yes. This is the result. So actually, if you look deeply, all of them, this distribution of the answer, if you see the answer again, so we don't have something more simultaneous reporting. I can argue with this, that's the highest, no, not the highest percentage, same problem. So if it's not same problem, that means you will not able to do discussion between team, because every team working his own. So how you create this dialogue between different teams? How you create an argument and discussion and lead to a deep understanding and deep learning, if not the same. So if it's not the same problem, that means you will lose the discussion between teams. The second, or the next percentage of choosing simultaneous reporting, again, if there is no simultaneous report, how team will know the other team choose this or that? And if you put them in sequence, some team, maybe they are not, they do not do their work. Maybe they just talk, they chat, they talk about some sport, some hobby, something, this or that. They are not actually working in this problem. So they will wait. So students, sometimes they just try to trick the system. So if they see 3 teams showing A, said, okay, let's put A and have peaceful mind. So, it has to have 4 of these to be more effective. Shabab, is it clear now when we correlate the attention when you deliver your online course? So there is a different way to keep student with you by embedded a question in a different time of this. So if you use like a Scratch, you can do, and student can go into this by their ID, or it can be through a Blackboard or other. And it should have, in my opinion, it should have a weight in the class. So you don't want somebody to turn on the class and do something else. You want them to be with you. So that's the idea of having a class. This is the idea of having attendance in the class. It's just a point of view. You feel free to Okay. I'm trying to move to the next slide, but I don't know why it's stuck. Okay. So another ball here. So now, Allah, you don't need to write this. You just need to put A, B, C, D. Okay. So which stage of the greatest potential for promotion student understanding of the concept related to a project? What is? Okay, let me tell you the activity. Okay, now we are giving a student a term project. Okay, it's a team project. Which one of them, of these steps, you think this will promote student understanding? And these are the 5 choices. Is the step that a student student do during the process to produce this project? Is it clear, Shabab, the question and the problem we are trying to vote on?
Yes, clear, ya Khalid.
Okay. How are we doing with time, Dr. Saeed?
We got around 10 minutes. Sometimes
Okay.
you can extend it to 15 minutes if you want.
It should be fine. 10 minutes, inshallah, should be fine. Okay. Just let's end the voting, share result. So, as you see here, actually the most people choose C, which is around 10 out of them. And let's go back and see what is C look like. So here, discussion and dividing the work. Do you think this will enhance or promote student understanding? It's just some dividing the work. You take this part, I take the other part, and so on. Then everybody go by himself and try to search about this topic that he have or his part. And if we go to the D, then they come and discuss after they research and in the write-up which things from different parts should be on this report. Then after that, creation of a finished product to be turned on, like formatting, editing, and something like that. Then the feedback on the finished product quality from the instructor. Which one of them? It's very clear. It's C, where there is lots of argument and lots of discussion between students. We should emphasize in this part. No, this part is more important. So there is a lot of discussion on this one. It's just an example of an activity that if we do it in face-to-face, you will see the discussion between team. It's not to argue this answer is right or this wrong. It's just an activity for this presentation, for this workshop designed for face-to-face simulation of the group work, how this group work and the discussion between the team member enhance and promote learning. It's not something it's meant to be by itself, the question. So this is another also a ball, but we will not do it. It's just a simple thing. We will move on. It's only 10 minutes left. Now the question, if I have a large class, would it be possible to apply team-based learning or not? So I'm sorry, this is a statistic asking the participant, is this team-based learning, is it helpful or not helpful? And this statistic done in 2002, and the sample is 600 students. And if you see the result here, or the survey from the student, is almost 50%, they say it's helpful more than it hurt. This is from individual point of view of the student. And some of them, like 24%, is just, they feel it's the same, doesn't matter, is it just lecture, or they don't just care about it. And some students feel it hurt them. But from the statistic, is most likely it's more helpful than other things. So how do we form the team now? Now this is the question. Now, when we start this workshop, somebody asked question: is the group work, is it same as this team-based learning work? Actually, it's based on a small group, but in this team-based learning, one of the main characteristic is that the team formed in the beginning of the semester remain until the end of the semester. You don't change team every week or every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks. The team from week 1 until week 15, same team, no change. So when you divide the group in different small team, and how big is this? It's depends on you. Yeah. If we have a class of the student, we can form them in 2 different ways. Maybe you will ask a student to form a team, and by this procedure, you will end up having a homogeneous team. What do we mean by homogeneous team? We mean those people know each other. They will go in the people they have a special interest, they will go with each other. But if you do it by yourself, you will have a more heterogeneous team. And I think this is what we need, a more heterogeneous team. You need a student with different level, with different background, with different maybe major, if this course is a common between more than one field, and something like that. So you can use different criteria to form the team. You can use academic record, age, personality type, major, learning style, skill. Somebody will say, I don't know the student, how am I gonna do it in this way? So I'll tell you what I do it in a very simple way. In the first day of recitation class, I ask students to answer 3 questions. I told them, write your name. So tell me your grade in the last semester. For example, if they are freshmen, I to ask them, for example, if they coming to chemistry class, I told them, do you have Math 101? They said maybe yes. Or Physics 101. I told them, just give me your grade in that course. And I should ask students all same course. Let's say Math 101, give me your score or your grade. The third one, from where you got high school, from which city you get your high school. Then in front of them, while I'm receiving this small paper, I start and I put A student in one row, then I put B student, then I put C student, then I put, until I reach like 4 or 5 students. Then I go in each column, which is A, B, C, D. I see if they are from same city or from different city. I just, if it's from same city, I just switch between this column and have different city, different performance and different things. So one of the things maybe somebody will have observation on that. Some student will not feel good if you see what they are getting in previous class. Actually, what I see some student, I got C, then he put a note, but this is not really my level, do this. It's not something I care too much about. It's just to form the team. Then immediately I call the name. I said, Ahmed, this, go in this corner. And the other go to that corner, sit together. Then while they are watching me, I take this paper and I just cut it and I put it in the bin or in the trash can. Why? I don't want them to feel that I have record of whatever information they give me. It's just for team distribution. It's as we see it as simple as this one. And they understand and they like it actually. Then they start getting to know each other. I give them some exercise in the beginning about how they develop this team team skill and other than that. So I see the chat. I would like Dr. Sayed to take note of that so we can discuss it in 2 minutes. So basically, this is how I do this team distribution. So is this applicable in online? Yes, you distribute the team, then you have a breakdown room in Zoom or other, then you can start running this approach in online, and lots of people already apply this approach in online format. And I feel it's more interesting to the student. It's not boring just listening to just listening to you all the time. So if it's face-to-face, I use fixed seating format. This will be helpful, or it has to, or I must have a round table and so. You see, this is a room in building 14. You see, you put all group in one part, and you just try to make space between different group, and things should be fine. You don't need to have a perfect setup. If there is a will, there is a way. So TB requirement. So you need something high student faculty to ratio, promote good behavior, and you just have simple thing. You need to have this for individual test, and it's preferable to have this team form test. Of course, you need to buy this the immediate feedback assessment tool, this one, and it's not cost a lot. Each form costs around like 2 riyal. Okay, and this form, it has different number of questions. Some form have 50 questions, and this form can be used over and over during semester. For me, if I have 10 teams, I need only 10 forms. 10 forms, I use them the whole semester. Each week, I use 5 questions. So that means I have 10 weeks almost. So your first week, maybe question from 1 to 5. Then you collect it from them. Then you give it back to the next class once you need to use them. I don't see there is a cost associated with that. You need a scanner and an AT form. And this is some reference for this approach. As you see here from different books, it's been used in health professional education, it's used in humanity, and this is the book I told you. It's follow the book that addressed some implementation problem, team-based learning, small group learning, next big step, and the other book, and also this website. It is a well designed for online community. This one, team-based learning, collaborative. You need to be a member. It has lots of resources. Sometimes, like you teach a thermodynamic. You will find an activity in thermodynamic class. You teach, for example, some signal processing. Maybe you will find some people sharing their activity in signal processing, and so on. And this collaborative based, they have a conference every 2 years. They have team-based learning conference, and it has a huge number of participants, like thousands of people attending from different fields, from health education, from business, from science, from engineering, and people sharing their paper. And people start like publishing paper in their approach they applying, and that's what teaching, scholarship in teaching and learning. It's a reflective practice. You reflect on your teaching method. You see what things move well, what things not moving well. Do you meet your objective? What's your research problem to achieve or by the end of the class, and so on. This is another also. This is the Michelson. If you go to the YouTube, he has lots.
You are muted, ya doctor. You are muted.
Dr. Khalid, we lost your voice.
Khalid. Yeah, Dr. Khalid.
Okay, I got it. Now, so all these resources available, I have nothing new from my side. What I did, I just go and learn. I attend also this workshop in University of British Columbia, I think, with Dad, and thankfully they are very supportive and promoting different way of best practice in teaching. So we attend as a team this kind of workshop after we came back from Canada back in 2009, I guess. I started implementing and learning and practicing this. We'll be happy to collaborate and share experience. I'm very happy to see after this workshop, I remember one instructor from Islamic and Arabic study department, he started completely implementing his course into team-based learning, and he sent me a feedback that it actually changed the way that the course, the feeling inside the class, instead of just something the students see it as repeating and boring and stuff like that, to more dynamic, more discussion, more exciting to attend the class and so on. By this, I would like to thank you all for your participation. Sorry for any shortcomings. And floor is for Dr. Saeed now, if there is anything in the chat or anybody would like to give a comment. Thank you all. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Dr. Khalid. The chat is mainly at the end, they were trying to compare between Zoom and Microsoft Teams, and might be Blackboard and breaking out teams. I think all of them they do. Some of them might be better than the other. Most of the people think Zoom is good in this regard. And some of them are also, thank you very much for this. And one, he said he will be using this very soon. That's Bashir, I think, from the community college. And he reminded me by the Islamic study, because Dr. Hooshani is really requesting a workshop again on team in Arabic. And I just remembered that since you said it. Okay. And the second thing I would like to, on behalf of my colleagues, yesterday you said, there is more than 30% of the workshop was not complete because of the time. And so we request you to tell us when you're going to complete that, since you became now expert on the technology.
Oh, expert, mashallah.
Well, I would like to thank my colleagues. Thank you very much for, for actively participating, and we look forward to see you in other DAD activities. Thank you, Khalid, and thank you, Sanawullah. يعطيك العافية Khalid.
Jazakumullah khair. Thank you all, and again, thank you to Dad and Teaching the Learning Center for their great effort to promote different things. I know it's a very tough time for all of us. And inshallah, let's hope that we work as a team, try to deliver the best experience as possible for our students. I know, and I'm following up from different departments, especially there is lots of effort is being developed from engineering, from math, from other departments. And I encourage everybody who have a good experience to just move forward and try to share his experience with us. So it's not a one-man show or a two-man show. It is, so you apply things, you are good at it, and try to spread this experience. All of us is academic. We are faculty. We are not a professional trainer. We are not trained for do this. It's as simple as this. You try something, you became good at it, just try to share it for somebody else. Try to learn. Even this online delivery. I know from summer, I try to look to different courses. There is an excellent faculty delivering an excellent experience. I wish those faculty not to be too humble to just say what I'm doing is just an average. Yeah, it is a great work. And please share it with us. Let's learn from your experience.
Yes.
A simple technology stuff, how you teach through your iPad and use your touch screen and stylus and have connected with connection with the student. Actually, we all need these stuff. We are not up to this. We are in different part of our career, and maybe those who are toward more than mid of their career, they miss a lot of new technology, those fresh faculty already using and exposing. So please, we need to see these kind of sharing experience. You didn't have to receive an invitation from that. You just send an email, I have something, I can share it. So they will be very happy to do this. Jazakumullah khair. Sorry for taking your time.
Khalid, I just have actually, I already wrote a question here. First of all, I would like to thank you and Dr. Saeed, also Sana'ullah, for all these great activities. I just wonder about the hygiene and health issues of reusing these forms.
Yeah, you mean in physical face-to-face?
Yeah, because you said you collect it and then next class you redistribute it again and use it for the whole semester. Same card for the whole semester.
Yeah. So basically, before the pandemic, we don't have any problem, and this is the common practice almost everywhere. It's a simple piece of paper, same as when somebody examine a paper and we take it and we correct it and we give it back. It's just something I never think of this issue of hygiene issue. Now it is because of the pandemic. We are very careful in each thing like this. But before, I never feel anything, and I see this is a common practice. People applying team-based learning, they never use one card for each class because it's costly actually. And if it has 50 questions, you can use it over and over. And I never have any or hear any problem regarding this hygiene issue.
And you did not lose any of your students, right?
None. Alhamdulillah.
Thank you.
Thank you all. يعطيك العافية Khalid. And again, I want to iterate what Dr. Khalid said. Please, we have an initiative which is best practice sharing. Please share your practice with others, okay? Just let us know. We will prepare the platform for you to share it with others. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Khalid. Jazakallah khair.
Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. You go and get ready for 1:30, ya Sana'ullah.
Inshallah.
Anakumullah.
Okay.
Ma as-salam.
Salam.